everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I was going to go for a little bit of a drive before hitting the gym and doing some work today, and I figured I'd take y'all with me, so let's go for a drive. Not you though. Let's get it. Alright, so before we hop into the main video here, got to do a little bit of a Dunkin' run because y'all know me, I need my coffee. But before we dive into anything, you know, too deep into the rest of the video, I thought I'd give a little bit of an update, so to speak, on just things that have been happening, all that stuff. So first of all, just kind of a little update on the Corvette. We've been doing little mods here and there, just to kind of update some of the reliability and stuff like that, some little repair stuff. And as you can see, the steering is absolutely dialed in now, so that's pretty cool. It turns out that it was just basically the intermediate steering shaft had the threads at the end of the U-joint where it connects into the steering rack were a little bit worn, so unfortunately we had to replace that with a new one just because the old U-clamp, I guess, didn't really clamp down tight enough, so there was a little bit of play when you would do this. But now got a new intermediate steering shaft put in, and it's good as new. So it's been a little bit since I've been able to make a video. I've been pretty crazy busy, unfortunately, for the past month or couple months, honestly, this summer with just stuff for my doctorate program, and I'm not gonna lie, it's really been kicking my ass six ways to Sunday, so to speak. This summer is pretty insane for my program, just because there's a lot of really big hoops you got to jump through going from into your 4th year into the program. I just recently had to do what's called my clinical competency exam, and that takes a lot of preparation, and basically it's just kind of reviewing a case that you had from the year prior and in front of, you know, a panel of faculty members demonstrating that you know what you're actually doing. And so, you know, had to write a big whole document for that, and obviously then make a big presentation and defend it and stuff like that. So that's kind of where we've been at for the past couple weeks, and why I've been a little bit slow on videos and stuff. So my apologies for that, and you know, thank y'all for the patience for bearing with us. Ooh, bikes. I've been getting a lot of messages about the Viper, just kind of asking, you know, where's the Viper, when's coming back, all that stuff. Well, I got some pretty awesome news, and if you haven't, you know, seen this announcement already on my Instagram channel, I'll obviously repeat it here, but the Viper is getting wrapped up at Calvo Motorsports. I just had a call with Antonio a couple days ago, and he's saying at the time of this video being dropped, it should hopefully be on the dyno by the end of the week. So we're really looking forward to seeing that, and I got to give a massive shout out to Antonio and the rest of his team for, you know, all the hard work that they've been putting in on that project, and especially with all the, you know, parts shortage supply bullshit that they've had to deal with. And just all the, you know, kind of extra silly stuff that they've had to overcome. Massive shout out to them for that. So thank you, Antonio. And that's kind of, you know, the status on the Viper. Also, if you haven't seen the announcement on the Instagram channel, which, by the way, give a follow here if you want to check out some of that stuff. You'll get some earlier sneak peeks, so to speak. We're going to be doing the Indy airstrip attack with the Viper and taking the official delivery of it there August 13 and 14. So definitely be on the lookout for that, because we're going to be making some pretty cool videos and content with that. But yeah, so that's kind of the status of the Viper. I'm not gonna lie, one of my favorite parts about coming here, obviously the coffee, but that. If you're a car person, you understand how fun it is to watch that reflection. Basically, so I thought, especially with kind of the stress of my recent clinical competency exam defense, it'd be a great excuse and reason to kind of jump into this topic, and really this whole video series that I've been looking forward to kind of doing with the channel being, I guess, Mental Mondays, and just frankly talking about various different mental health topics and stuff like that, kind of just in a point of view, you know, hanging around, driving vlog kind of setting. And for this very first one, I thought, you know, we could talk about a strategy that I definitely used a lot personally for me to help kind of deal with the anxiety that I was having throughout this entire project, being mindfulness. So like I was saying, with the stress of my CCE stuff, I thought it would be a pretty great opportunity to talk about, you know, mindfulness. And so essentially, you know, with anxiety, it's really easy to get caught up in a worry cycle, right? You know, kind of catastrophizing, or really only focusing on the negative stuff or negative possibilities of an outcome or something like that. You know, maybe even magnifying those, you know, kind of blowing some things out of proportion, kind of escalating pretty quickly. I know that I am definitely somebody who unfortunately kind of suffers from those kind of patterns pretty pervasively throughout my work and stuff. I've been known to doubt myself a little bit. And, you know, mindfulness can be a really great strategy to kind of stop that cycle, so to speak, and frankly just help enter it into a little bit more relaxed state, and then, you know, a little bit more rational state as well, and be able to make some better action, better plans, better, you know, just responses in general, versus getting just kind of caught in that cyclical pattern of, you know, anxious thoughts and stuff like that. Because that's kind of the thing with anxiety sometimes, is that we get so caught up in this worry cycle that, you know, we're analyzing some of these things on a basically pretty surface level, but it kind of tricks the brain into thinking that it's doing something about the situation, you know, all this worrying and maybe, you know, planning about it or something like that. But often what kind of really happens is we're more stuck in those what ifs, or you know, kind of worrying about uncertainty or things like that, and it's not really as productive as it may feel to be in that state. And I'm sure, you know, that's kind of a no duh thing, but sometimes it's really just helpful to label some of that stuff. So mindfulness, believe it or not, is actually something I was introduced a little while ago to, actually in undergrad, not even when I was in my doctorate program. This is gonna sound even funnier, but me and a couple fraternity brothers of mine always used to go do yoga classes for PE credits at my college, and part of the, I guess, the end of this yoga session was always a session on mindfulness. And I gotta be honest, definitely was not mature enough to really fully grasp or appreciate the idea at the time, but even with kind of half-assing it, the effects were pretty noticeable. But I definitely, you know, didn't really have a full and mature appreciation for what was going on at that time. But fast forward a couple of years, get into doctorate school, and things obviously changed. Got a little bit of a better mindset for appreciating the actual potential of this practice. Kind of the idea with mindfulness, I mean, there's many different, I guess, types or ways you could really go about doing it, but the one really main way that I attach to it is really just the idea of being wholly aware and immersed within the present moment. So, you know, when that worry or anxiety really starts to kick in and cycle and kind of, you know, build itself up, the idea of mindfulness is kind of to just, you know, become aware that these thoughts are and these thought processes happening. And the key distinction here is non-judgmental kind of awareness. So just kind of knowing or, you know, noticing that these thoughts are happening, but just kind of in the key, and it's kind of difficult at first, I'm not gonna lie, but just being non-judgmentally aware of it, not, you know, kind of beating the self up about it, but just kind of mentally noting that this is what's happening. And then when you have that, you're able to kind of gently redirect to kind of just the present moment. And so I thought it'd be a great idea to talk about this and come out here to, wow, this is perfect timing, the Kennesaw Mountain Battlefield Park, because what I like to do when I know I'm getting in a really anxious state working in a big project and I feel myself kind of grinding to a halt and just not really working as productively as I want to, I come out here and drive and practice mindfulness. Really just kind of focusing on being within the present moment and basically just kind of trying to not necessarily tune everything out, so to speak, but really just focusing on being here within the moment, because it really helps just kind of calm everything down, enter into a little bit more of a calmer, more rational thought process state, and frankly just, you know, from there we can return to home base and get things done a little bit easier, you know? And so like I was saying, I really enjoy coming out here to practice some of that mindfulness stuff, and both in acute senses when I really need it, as well as just kind of generally on days like today, just really focusing on living within this beautiful and present moment, just so that it's a little bit more easy to access and a skill that's kind of already practiced, so to speak, in the moments when it's, you know, really needed and stuff like that. But I think basically another really great point, and kind of why I love the combination of you know, mental motors and everything like that, is that for me, driving is my mindfulness escape. You know, rowing through the gears, following the curves of the road, hearing the note of the exhaust bounce through the trees. It's really just an amazing way to help me, you know, clear my head and get out of my anxious thoughts. And honestly, it's just a really great way for me to, you know, ground and center myself, just and get into more rational thought process and you know, kind of mindsets and everything like that. And then from there, really just I'm far more better set up to calmly and rationally attack my goals again and really get things done. And that's just one of the many reasons why cars are so important to me and relevant in my life. But yeah. so that's kind of all the mumbo jumbo I guess I had to say and kind of spew out, and I'm sorry I wasn't as coherent as I was hoping it was going to be at first, but still trying to figure out the best way to structure these types of videos in this whole new series. But yeah, I'm excited to really start making a little bit of a more stronger stride within the mental health goals of this channel as well, so definitely a good way to kick it off nonetheless. But yeah, now I figured we might take a little bit of time and just appreciate some of the surroundings and stuff like that. So shout out to my boy Mike for loaning me his GoPro 360 again. I figured we'd set it up on the back of the car here and take some just, you know, nice scenic driving videos. But yeah,